Brady, Trump, time travel, you mentioned something like this, you sent me the link, I couldn't believe it. Brady, let everybody know what you're talking about.
All right, so I don't know if it's as interesting as Joe Biden having dementia, but I mean, maybe he wants to take the time machine to go back and figure it out. But I saw this, I don't know, sometimes I see stuff on TikTok and I thought it was really, like it's
TikTok story, but you did research.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
So no, I thought this was interesting. So there's a book out that's called Barron Trump's Marvelous Adventures. Have you ever heard of this?
I have.
Have you? But you know what I'm talking about.
I've heard what you're talking
let
about.
us know what year and what's going on.
So here's the thing: is like what I find was so interesting. So how this book starts is Barron finds this portal and he does like time traveling, right? And his mentor, when he's time traveling, have you heard of this at all?
I have.
Yeah.
The book.
Okay, so I am. Stop. So here's the thing. So the book, he's guided like this guy, like his mentor's name is Don, which is crazy. This is an actual book that came out in 1883.
What?
Okay?
Oh, okay.
This is an actual book.
It is weird.
Swear to God. And so, so they said that during this book, one of Don's friends in the book, his last name is Pence.
Dude, this is...
Which is like you can't make this stuff up, right? So the author of this book made another book back then, and he said there's an unlikely candidate who's going to win the presidential election who wins on Fifth Avenue.
Oh,
Huh?
Dude,
Like,
and this is a fact that this was written in the 1800s.
This is actually written.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, that is kind of creepy.
Hold on, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
I'm not done yet. So, also, Donald Trump's uncle had a connection with Nikola Tesla back then, right? Mm-hmm. And so the FBI took Tesla's documents when he died,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, this
took his
part's
documents, and the guy that was in charge of the documents was John Trump.
Yep.
Dude,
So documents went missing. So documents went missing. So now the documents went missing because they were looking for a death ray, which brings me back to Lahaina, which brings me back to how did they get this technology? So I mean, if you can tie that back in somehow, but I don't know. This is really just cut my segment out.
No, Brady, it's just funny. Like Brady, like your cars, your electric car's not going to turn on now because you're 100% crazy.
Well, I mean, listen, I can't afford it, but anyway. So no, but so the documents went missing. And so they believe that they used it for time travel because how do you come up with all these coincidences and then it's all under Trump? You know what I'm saying? So
how crazy? And Brady, this is going on. Brandon, say what you're going to say.
Yeah, so that part is the most compelling part of it. So Trump's uncle or whoever it was, he knew how to operate that stuff too because he worked at MIT and I think he was a consultant for the police or something. Like they have him come in and look at this stuff and tell him what everything was and whatnot. So it's not like he was just some guy who found it. He was a guy who potentially was smart enough to operate the stuff like once he found it. And you know, there's no doubt that Nikola Tesla was the smartest person who's ever lived. Like Einstein said that, all the smart people have said that, that's not even close.
But also the thing that brings it back to is like, do you remember the Simpsons episode?
Yeah.
When Trump's going down the escalator?
Yeah.
And then do you remember the girl's sign fell?
Everything
Have you seen this, KvonComedy?
Oh,
dude.
dude.
You've never seen this?
No.
It's the creepiest thing ever. This actually happened, but this is a Simpsons episode that happened before this actually happened.
Simpsons are experts at predicting.
Yeah,
No, but hold on. How did it? Come on.
To tie it all back to time travel is Matt Groening. Again, it comes back to Simpsons. Simpsons have predicted a lot of this stuff. That's not coincidental. It's all stuff that has actually happened before it happened.
Dude,
how does Matt Groening know this stuff? When the lasers, all that stuff that happened, burning cities, it happened. The 9/11 little poster, it all happened.
It's crazy. So let me ask you guys a question though. Do you guys believe, like, in your heart of hearts, time travel and all that stuff, different dimensions, Rob, and everything is true? And I want to go around and ask, honestly. Because that story's compelling as shit.
Different dimensions, I do believe in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about time travel. And I have no basis to believe in either one or disprove either one. But I've heard enough people talk about different dimensions where I go, okay, I could see how that could exist, where there's this replica, but instead of Brandon sitting there, he's sitting here.
Gotcha. Yeah,
and instead of you being there, you're here.
Multiple realities.
Yes.
Okay.
But as far as time travel, I don't know.
So how would you explain? Because I'm baffled. In 1800, they wrote this book, all the names, all the situations, everything, and it happens.
I don't know about that. I can tell you, when it comes to The Simpsons, yes, there are a lot of odd things, but you also have to remember that The Simpsons have been on for 30 years.
Yeah.
So the amount of things that, yes, they've predicted a handful of things that have come true. The amount of things that they've predicted that have not come true, it's got to be outrageous because there's 30 years. And think about that. How many episodes a season? 20 episodes a season. So you're looking at 600 episodes. That's a lot of, and that's what, 30 minutes an episode. So you're talking about 1,200 hours of content. I'm sure that they've made some predictions that came true. I'm sure that they've also made some that haven't.
Kevin, what do you think? Do you believe in that?
You know, do you remember when Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith?
Yeah.
Yes.
So some Indian kid made a video as if it had happened 5 years ago, and he aged the film, and then he went up and he showed like some guy slapped him,
Yeah.
and then he put it out like, this happened to me, this is all set up, and a lot of people are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
I fell for it.
In my mind, there's a chance that this book was written after, tweaked, and then said this is from the 1880s, and now we're falling down the wrong rabbit hole.
But there is weird stuff.
I'm a
like,
skeptic.
A week ago, like along the lines of what you're talking about, a week ago, a guy predicted before Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles
Yes,
tendon.
yeah. I
He
saw
tweeted
that.
out that Aaron Rodgers was going to tear
On the
his
fourth
Achilles
play.
tendon. Yeah, like it was
That's
crazy.
so strange.
That it like the amount of detail and accuracy into putting that tweet out, and it ends up being exactly true.
That is crazy.
Well,
Brandon, what are you thinking?
yeah, so this makes me automatically think of, so the CIA has invested heavily in people who could not only telepathically like connect to things, but like look into the future. I forgot the exact terminology of it, but like if the CIA is investing money into people who have these powers to some degree, see to the future, you know, it's like the people talk about psychics and whatnot, it's a crazy thing, but the CIA has people that do that, and I forgot the term of it.
Remote
but-
viewing?
Yeah, I think it's something along
Yeah,
the lines
remote
of
viewing.
remote viewing. But yeah, so it's a thing that they take seriously, and there's people out there who could do it. So who knows if there's just people who could see the future to a degree or whatnot.
And I put nothing-
Maybe
yeah.
somebody like that was writing those books. You know, it could be something along those lines. So yeah, I think there's people out there who could see the future.
That's crazy.
CIA confirmed.
And that's my thing is I don't know, but I never put anything off the table. At this part of my life, this stage, with everything I've seen from the military and just with my regular eyes and watching the news and people and everything, people don't realize, like when you say CIA or FBI or even deeper, the organization that you'll never even know that exists,
Yeah.
underground bases,
Black budget
stuff, and mind you, underground bases that are literally, I don't know if you guys remember Phil Schneider. You guys ever heard of
Yeah.
Phil Schneider?
Yeah.
So he was a geologist that was working for the government, GES, whatever, like top secret, the craziest clearance. His job was building bases that went 1 mile down, they drilled a hole, and then they blew out rock, and they would build bases down there. And this guy,
DUMBs, they call them, like deep underground military bases.
people only so but we haven't, the average American, you haven't scratched the surface on
Yeah.
what, people always, mind you, we don't know the information, we don't have any clearance, and they're so professional at getting rid of any rumors that, bro, aliens, who knows? You still don't know, yes or no. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
They're so good at their secrecy.
Imagine how crazy it is though, with the stuff that we do know a little bit of. It's already mind blowing. So like, and that's probably 1 to 5% of it. So imagine all the crazy possibilities
Dude,
are.
and here's my thing. What would you do if they showed, like, Brady, they showed you something where you're like, your brain would blow up?
The Mexican
I'd
government
wanna
they
see
came
it, I
out and
think.
showed they opened the
alien thing was
and then
hilarious.
I saw a funny meme where it was wedding cake. Yeah.
I saw another funny one. It was like, listen, aliens, question mark, it's Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi just taking a nap. They were just like, because I want to move on to the next topic, which I think it's going to be Kvon, right?
Yeah.
But so the alien thing, just really fast. Yeah, the alien thing. I can't wait to hear yours. It's been around forever. All these sightings are happening. Everybody's talking about it. The whistleblowers came out, the national, like, this is up your alley, Brandon. Those two guys, whistleblowers. In the mafia, they call them snitches. The whistleblowers came out and they're like, we've recovered vehicles. I've seen aliens. This is in Congress, Brady. And guess what the American public did? Whatever, Kim Kardashian has a new season. Nobody cares. So, Brandon, I'm going to go to you first. Do you think it's real? And now, because of the internet and the cat's out of the bag, or do you think there's something deeper for them at play? Because you mentioned the New World government, and to bring a New World government, you have to have a threat that's not from here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so this prompts a few things. One of them is the Operation Blue Beam that we always talk about.
Blue Beam?
Blue Beam, yeah. So it's always been a thing that's been rumored that the government might put out that there's a UFO attack someday to get people to stay at home or whatever. Just have some futuristic looking ships, and you could kind of do whatever you want at that point. If the people aren't complying, or like blow them up, and like, oh, it was the UFO. That's why you should stay inside. And what else? So in the sense of whether or not they're real, I think probably real. More likely teleport like through wormholes and stuff than like come from somewhere in the solar system because it's too big, it's too far of a travel.
So you think it's gonna be a setup?
Yeah, and I had one other point, but you could move on.
Rob, what do you think? I can't wait to hear what Rob says.
I took an astronomy class in college, and I really didn't understand how big the universe was. I always knew about our solar system. I knew that there were other solar systems, but when you actually learn about how big the universe is and how it continues to expand, the idea that we are the only life form in it is ignorant.
Yeah.
Because it's saying that this planet is the only planet that can sustain life, but every day there's a new article that comes out about them finding a planet that could be hospitable to life. I believe, similar to what you believe, that there are some type of intelligent life form outside of our world that travels here through portals or wormholes or time travel. I don't believe the ones that they showed in Mexico are real.
And not at all.
I give more credit to the family in Las Vegas, if you remember. The
Venezuelan family.
Where
that was creepy.
They had the aliens in the backyard. They were hiding behind the excavators.
Yep.
I mean, even think about, we talked about the Chinese spy balloons. If you remember, they shot a spy balloon down over Lake Erie and never released the video of what it was or told the American public what they actually shot down.
Yeah.
So I do believe that there are other visitors coming to this planet. I don't know if they have good intentions or bad. I hope good.
It was
Kayvon, you're
five in
oh, go ahead, Brady.
No, it was like 5 in a few days too, and they were calling them UFOs at one point. You know, that happened at the same time as the balloon, but there was like 5 other instances where they shot
Because
things down.
it was over like a course of 4 days where it
Yeah.
was like they shot down 1. Oh my God, they shot down 3 in one day, and then they go, okay, this was a spy balloon, this one was a spy balloon. We're not so sure what the one over the Great Lakes was, but we'll get back to it.
Irretrievable.
And then guess what? Just like you said, people are like, oh, the Kardashians, Kourtney's pregnant with Travis Barker's baby. Forget about the aliens.
What's more powerful than censorship is information overload. You know, it's because people are just doused with information all day. That's more powerful than withholding information from people. Because if you're withholding information from people, like you would in maybe the 50s, people are constantly looking for things, and if something comes out, it's the biggest thing ever. You know, people are probably talking about the JFK thing for like years, but today the craziest thing could happen, and people move on in 3 days because of how much crazy things happen every day.
The news cycle is so fast.
And we had Michael Flynn, General Michael Flynn, who talked about 5th generation warfare, and part of that was exhausting people with information.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this. You've said it, that you're tired of hearing about, well, Biden's son did this and Biden's son did that. When is it going to be held accountable? People are getting to that point where they're exhausted from it, so they move on. They go, you know what? I really don't care if he got caught with coke or got caught with hookers.
Yeah.
Or got caught.
They're like, what's the matter?
Nothing's going to happen.
They're
I'm
hit over the
moving
head all
on
the
to
time.
something
Yeah.
that makes me happy, like fuzzy little animals on Instagram.
Yeah, and this is my opinion. I genuinely think because you can't just come out the government and be like, yo, aliens. No, you gotta test. Yo, aliens, like a mafia guy. That'd be funny. Hey, yo, guys, the president, aliens. No, but Brady, think about this. You know what you have to do? You have to get them ready. Maybe, just maybe, you gotta test them out. You gotta see if lockdowns will work. You gotta see if they'll listen. You gotta see if for 2.5 years they'll shut up and put needles in their body. You know what we do? Why don't we have a virus come out from a country, from a lab that we own? This virus comes out, it hits everybody, coordinated media, everything. Oh my God, who's the first guy that had it? Tom Hanks. Oh my God, let's get the scare, get the needle, let's make the money. Not only do we make money, now we know, big scare, lockdown immediately, everybody falls in line, and guess what? After the 2.5 year mark, that's when they start questioning, and then bro, that to me is a great movie in itself. Just something that would happen to lock people down, to do like an exercise. And guess what? It worked. It worked. It's still working to this day. I was at the gym today and some asshole, I'm sorry I had to cuss, he's wearing a mask up to here and sunglasses, and I had to stop and I looked at him and I went like this. What are you doing?
Did he take one out and give one to you?
Yeah. But you know what I mean though,
Well,
Kayvon.
when he goes in the locker room with that outfit on, you don't know what he's looking at.
Dude, what exactly? What are you looking at in there? But okay, so Kayvon, speaking, since you made a little funny thing right there.
Yeah.
Kayvon,
Funny thing right there.
a little funny. No, I was doing an Italian character before.
did a little
funny thing. Let me go to you.
I actually wrote that down. Italian White House press secretary. I would
Oh,
love
that'd
this.
be hilarious.
I love this
Like,
guy.
and it's like, but what Scaramucci was the guy, right? Scaramucci.
Yeah, but
he was like, yeah. But they're like, you're too Guido. Get the
Yeah,
hell
he was
out.
there for 6 days.
He was there for 6 days. He's like, I'll take you and I'll take that microphone and shove it up your beep.